Welcome to ATCs with me. Today we are going to do another little bee theme. This one is using a honey pot from Hero Arts. I think it was Hero Arts or Spellbinders Hero Arts, I think. And this one has a few steps, so let's get started. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, where's my desk? There we go, is give this a little bit of a background color, and I'm gonna use first I'm going to throw it in the garbage bin, my vintage photo, and just a light background. I just like when you edge it, how you get that nice dark border. That's always my goal. Can you see that okay? Oops, crumple a bit, that's okay. All right, so just a nice light color there that's going to show up against my black honeycomb. All right, so I'm just going to throw that in the middle. Get this nice and inky. Better if it's on a flat surface, not my hand that moves. Okay. And a good press down. All right, there's my honeycomb background, so I don't need that anymore for this moment. All right, now I'm just gonna wipe this a bit. I need a yellow. Do I have a yellow in my stack? Seriously, I brought all these out beforehand. All right, let me get my favorite yellow. Oh, where is it? Fossilized amber, I think, must be in a kit. Oh, it was there. I just didn't see it. It would be weird for it not to be in front of me. One of my favorite colors. All right, so I'm going to give this some yellow. Now, it's going to be off the edge, so I don't really have to worry about this side too much. So I'm just going to get this side more, and then just a bit of brushing across the surface there. So it's just sort of one-sided like a shadow. All right, that's the yellow. And then I think I'm gonna make this, let's see what colors. We'll use Mermaid Lagoon. And I'm gonna actually put it on here on purpose without cleaning it. And maybe I'll pick up a bit of the yellow. Make it a little bit green. So I'm just doing the edge, and then a light dusting across just to highlight some of those points. Okay, that's that and that. Put my brushes away, get them out of my zone. Okay, now I'm gonna glue this down. And again, some of it's, I just need a little bit of room there as I have a plan. Going on, my nails are nice and blue. Okay, so I'm gonna trim that off. Get it out of my way. Because it has to stick to the ATC size. Okay, now I'm gonna use some embossed dabber, a stencil that I've already spaced out, and some clear, so wild honey in the distress glaze. So it's clear, it's gonna show through, but what I want is just a honey drip off the side. So I don't have to worry about the top part because it's gonna be covered with the lid. So I'm just gonna purposely go so that it's dripping off. Now this stuff is just like Versamark in a bottle, except it's easier when you're doing stuff like this. And the key, there's a little plunger inside that sponge, so you just have to press down, but you don't want to squeeze the bottle. I can't stress it enough, because if you squeeze it and pop the top off, you've ruined the bottle. You can't, it won't stay on anymore. So just a word of warning, don't squeeze it, just dab it. I usually keep mine upside down when I'm using it, not when I'm storing it, because it might leak. but when I'm using it, and then it's always ready at the bottom. So I'm done with that. Then I can pull that away. And I've got my embossing powder. Now I did this quite soon after inking this, so hopefully this doesn't stick to the whole card. Usually I give it some time or rub, and I forgot. I got talking, so. That is only. Okay, I'm going to heat that. That's not quite as big as I wanted it to be, so I'm just going to do this first, and then I can go over it again. Okay, see, it's not quite as much as I want, so we'll bring back that stencil. And I can line it up with where I was, and I'll try that again. Oopsie. Okay. Get in there. I can see it, I think now it's better. Okay. Yeah, it looks like more. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted. Now I can dry it. But you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to put this away. Why is it all clumping up? It's kind of weird. I'm going to just get rid of this because I can see either blowing it all out or there's a little bit of something in there. I'm just going to tweeze it out. Or heating it and melting the whole bottle. All right. Okay, now that's safe, and that's safe, and that can go away. And now I can heat it. There we go. Much better second try. Okay, now let's get this out of the way. And I've got, oopsie. No, what are you doing? I've got one more thing to do here, aside from putting that on. Get that. Okay, I have a little piece of acetate, and I'm going to stamp, tell me. Oh, phew, okay. My StazOn ink, and I'm going to, the reason I'm doing this is I'm going to stamp honey on the acetate. I can put this there so I can see where it is. Because it's clear. There, I'll just line up. That's just the paper that comes with it when you cut it. So I'm using StazOn because it's plastic. So of course you have to have StazOn to do anything non-porous. And if I tried to stamp across this, there's so many bumps in this and across the honey and everything else, it's probably going to not stamp clear. So I'm going to stamp on a piece of acetate. Like that. Oop, there, now you can see it. And then I'll cut it out and put it over top. And that way, it's not gonna, it'll be a nice crisp image. Now, did I bring my, yes, I have a little StazOn cleaner because StazOn, you can only clean with StazOn. And get that away. Do this right away because it's meant for non-porous, so of course it'll stain your stamp. Okay, that's clean. This can go away. Now, I'm going to glue this on. Onto there. And again, I'll just trim off that little piece. So sometimes people in my class just turn the ATCs into cards. They don't trade them. So if you do that, you can always leave those extra pieces hanging off the edge. It's kind of cool to have that. I don't need that. And this. I could actually, because it's, I'm just going to put some glue. I'm just going to trim that shorter. kind of go around. I'm just hoping it's dry. It dries pretty quick, but you know, you never know. Just sort of go around the words. It's clear. You don't really have to do this, but I am. Okay, so now I'm going to put glue just behind the black letters. And then when it dries, you won't see any seams. That's the theory. Honey! Now I can go right across the embossed part. I can go right across all those little bumps. All right, there we go. That is our little honey pot. Thanks for watching. Ciao.